Today on Motivation Mondays with Monica Marie Jones, we will be discussing the power of relationships in business, love, and life. Tune in at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on urbannationradio.com. Hello and welcome to Motivation Mondays with Monica Marie Jones on Urban Nation Radio. I am your host, author, motivator, entrepreneur, Monica Marie Jones, and we are broadcasting here live today from our generous sponsor, Tim Hortons in Highland Park, Michigan. And we have an exciting show for you today. We are talking about my favorite topic, relationships. And in the building, we have Mr. Darnell Glover, who is not only an entrepreneur, but he is the creator of the book, the event, and the game that all go by the same name, Relationships, a Two-Way Street. So, because of that, the theme of today's show is going to be the power of relationships in business, love, and life. Are y'all ready for a juicy discussion? I hope so. You may want to get a notebook. You may want to take some notes because we are not only going to talk about it, we're going to play the game live on the air. So tell a couple of friends that they want to tune in very soon to join this discussion. Now, as you know, every time I have a guest on my show, it is someone who inspires me personally. I met Darnell a few months ago, and I was immediately intrigued, not only because of his personality and style, as you can see, but also because he had an event, a 20-year celebration of being in business. Now, this was 10 years ago. Doesn't he look like he's 20? I mean, how did he even pull that off? But he talked about how he planned it a year in advance. And he talked about how successful it was, if I can mention the number, making $30,000 in one night at one event. So that immediately blew me away, and I was intrigued to know about, how he organized it, how he did business to have such a successful event. So we'll talk about that in a moment, but I want to give Darnell a chance to give you a little bit about him. Now, our ongoing business tip is our 30-second elevator pitch. Every guest comes on and tells you about themselves in 30 seconds or less. And as a professional, as a business person, as someone representing your personal brand, you should be able to do the same. Leave them wanting more. Intrigue them in 30 seconds or less. So, with that, I give you Mr. Darnell Glover.
Well, thank you, Monica, for having me first and foremost. So this is me completely. I got into the business of doing hair from just being into fashion completely. But now I'm into the business of being a good role model and succeeding my goal of creativity. But now I'm at the point of catering and creating and planning. So out of my 20 years, I just went over my whole evaluation of what I've been doing, and I didn't put it all on paper. I love catering to my clients. I like helping my clients in every way.
Yes.
So now I done put together a book out of all the things I done heard my clients tell me, their dramas, their stories, all these things. They really wasn't even going in my ear at all.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 years later, I started writing them down. I started sharing them with them. Now it didn't create it into a book.
Yes.
Now I done turned everything into events. I have sessions every 3 weeks at my salon, which is very intense. I mean, very exciting. I like to see where I find that men and women can see eye to eye on some relationships.
Yes.
And I can see where some women don't agree with some women, some men don't agree with some men. So my thing now is to really share everything around the world. If I can get it around there,
Yes,
I want it
and
to
you
go.
can.
I want it to go global.
And people are listening around the world right now. And as you know, it's pretty universal. The salon, the barbershop, that's like the place where you go for therapy, for conversation, right? So what better place to create this game, to create this book, to create this event that, celebrates that and makes it, a formal event of talking about relationships.
Yeah, and just to mention that, I made it into a game, because if you don't read books as heavy as you and I do, but I made a game where you're going to be more comfortable with playing the game if you're not comfortable with reading and sharing it. The game is the same identical way. It's very intense, very enlightening. I kid you not, you guys are going to open your minds up. You're going to see a whole new light on thinking, because you're going to get the better in the male perspective. And you definitely need to hear the woman's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
We need to know more about each other so we can communicate better. This would be me, and this is what I learned to share.
All right, and you are getting a special treat today because we're going to play the game on the air. We're going to read some questions from the book. We're going to talk about the event, and everybody doesn't get access to that. It's somewhat exclusive. You have the events at your salon in Detroit. He goes to private homes and does the events, but this stuff is not out on the market yet, so you are in for a special treat. Now, as I said, we're going to talk about the power of relationships, not only romantic, we'll get to that in a minute, but relationships in business and in life. So let's start with business. Now, you are getting ready to celebrate the 30-year anniversary of being in business. We know most businesses do not make it past 5 years, so we have to glean some wisdom from this gentleman. I hope you are taking notes. My first question is, talk about the importance of building relationships, of networking when it comes to running a successful business or running an event. Because I know you said with your event, it wasn't your typical marketing. You got out there for a year or a year and a half and really built relationships to make that $30,000 profit in one night at one event. Tell us about relationships in business.
Well, to me, first and foremost, I wanted to picture something that most hairdressers, sorry to say, wasn't doing, and that's getting best of service, catering to them. So I took off on a note of trying to cater along with that. Because if I can't get them this way, I'm going to get them this way. Mm-hmm. If I can't get them with the prices right, I get you with the satisfaction.
Yes.
So my thing, I wanted to take it to another level. Mm-hmm. So I catered, service, price right, and stay focused. And I sacrificed a lot of things I could have been doing. Mm-hmm. No, I wanted to focus on really making this business work. And then when I saw where, okay, these guys wasn't doing this, so I said, well, I'm going to start catering. So I gave them events, I gave them barbecues, I gave them Christmas gifts when I could afford to give them Christmas gifts.
Yes.
I gave them free hairdos for their birthdays. For every 3 people they were sending me, I gave that person a free blow and go. It built up from there. It just kept building and building and building. It's almost like you could say I had a line outside the door. And I was happy about it. And I love my clientele, the world. They belong to me. I love my clientele.
And that's something I think we don't think of when it comes to business. We're like about what we want to put out there, what we want to do, what we think is cool. But it sounds like you really plan with your clients in mind, and you cater to their needs, and you gauge your audience. And I think that is definitely a key to success, because some people are so trying to push their agenda that they forget what the clients need to feel appreciated. It all boils down to excellent customer service, it sounds like.
The number one thing that we all got to do in business is service. It's the top priority is service. And I learned it by definitely not letting them sit too long. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness,
I like
that's
to get them in and out. I like to get them with satisfaction.
Honey, that's why my kitchen and my bathroom is often my beauty shop, because I cannot do 4 hours. I mean, I've waited 4-6 hours in a waiting room or being sat under the dryer, or, you know, and it's just like I need to get in and get out. I got a whole lot going on, and so that's key, that waiting period.
Well, this was me. Even if my clients would come late, 5 minutes late on me, I'd probably tell her, I can't do y'all, squeeze you in later, because the next lady is expecting me to be on time.
Yes, and that's
so
quality.
That is a part of my good service. That is a part of why I've done such long time in this business. It will be 30 years August of next year.
Wow.
And I really want to celebrate by really giving them a big badge, a big tremendous badge. I didn't think I would make 30 years, but I stayed focused, I stayed sacrificed, and I'm loving it. And I hope I can continue on.
And notice he said August of next year. So I met Darnell months ago, and he was already looking at venues, planning, thinking about it. So, I mean, that really spoke to me, because my thing is, I get a great idea, then I try to do it next month, and then I'm like, why didn't anybody show up? So what I learned from you was that when you want a quality event, you really need to put in the time and the research and the relationship building. So give yourself time, especially when it's an event of that magnitude.
Yeah, and start now. I mean, if you've got something really you want to do, it really nice, really fabulous, and make them really feel good, I almost start 6 months, 8 months ahead. So like you're saying, I'm out there looking for me a beautiful venue.
Yes.
Lighted parking, everything that I can make very super nice for these people, because I want it nice. I want to look good. I want everybody to feel comfortable. So this is my objective right now, is to find me a nice spot, and if anybody knows me, they can let me know. But I really want a fabulous spot where we can all just be comfortable. The ladies in their nice gowns, because it's going to be a masquerade ball. I don't know if I said that, but I want it to be a fabulous masquerade ball.
And that's something to think about for those of you who want to plan events. If you're just into event planning, or you want a celebration of your business, or whatever the case may be, don't just make it entertainment, make it an experience. People want to feel safe. You talked about parking. People want to come and have a good time that they might not be able to have elsewhere. So I noticed you talked in the beginning about creativity. It's very important to put that in your event planning as well. Now let's talk about marketing. People think that social media is the end-all be-all. Now don't get me wrong, the internet and social media is an excellent tool. It's become somewhat of the norm, or like common ground. But you use some other strategies, and as you can see, he's very successful. So tell us about some of the other marketing strategies you use outside of just social media or internet marketing.
Well, definitely I'm more so trying to be their friend too, because I go to some of their events. Because they cater to me, I cater back. So I believe if you scratch their back, they scratch yours, or you give something, they're giving it back. Because to me, you put stuff back where you got it from, it's always going to be there. So I truly believe in giving back. Like I said, Christmas gifts. I want to barbecues, token gifts, a surprise free hairdo. This is a part of good catering, because you want to capture your customers in the best way. You want to hold on to them in the best way. They have to learn your demeanor and your character, and your attitude. They have to learn that too. But when you bring it all together, y'all can work together. And I got some of these people still with me. I would say a good 25 years they've been with me.
Wow.
And they've watched me come into the business and grow. And they're amazed that I done turned into a pretty much smart guy when it comes to business, because I don't mind going by the numbers, because it pays off going by the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
So if I was these people, it's okay to go step by step, pay your dues, etc., etc. But me, service. Find a way to service them. Find a way to cater to them. They're going to appreciate it. There's no way they're not. I don't care how you do it, whatever amount of money, big or little. It's the thought they should be looking at, and you're going to look at it too. So if I was you, find that smallest way to cater to them, and it's going to show that they appreciate you.
And that's a recurring theme and lesson that I have learned in like every book I've read about business, marketing. We think just take, or make money, but giving is a huge part of the abundance and the money and the blessings that'll come back to you. So with that, I hope you're taking notes. I hope you tell several more friends to listen in, because when we come back, we're going to jump right in to talking about the love part of relationships, and we're going to do that by playing the game. So tell a friend, play along with us at home, call in if you want to, and get ready for the game, the book, the event, Relationships, a Two-Way Street, after this break.
Okay.
Welcome back to Motivation Mondays with Monica Marie Jones. We are broadcasting live from our generous sponsor, Tim Hortons in Highland Park, Michigan, and we are talking all about relationships. And now we are going to jump right in, and we are going to use the book, and we are going to play this lovely card game, Relationships, a Two-Way Street. Darnell also does these at his events that he has at his salon, and we're going to start off the game, and then we're going to bring in one of the team members from Tim Hortons to chime in on the conversation, because it's all about relationships and love and men and women, so we want some different points of view, right? So Darnell, let's jump right in. Start us off with the first question and let us discuss.
Well, the first one, what can I give off the top of my head? So, is there a difference in makeup sex and real sex?
Ooh, Lord, we done got right to the hot topic off the bat. Is there a difference between makeup sex and real sex? I would say yes, because real is regular and humdrum, and you know, makeup is a little more, there's a little more passion behind it, there's a little more sauce or spice, if you will.
Now this would be me to that. To me, I don't see the difference because if me and you have a relationship and we experienced our sex life together and we've done everything possible, as in passion, lust, creativity, even role play, how would you be able to tell the difference when it's makeup sex just by the word?
Because the difference is there was a fight before instead of your regular everyday behavior before. So the emotions change.
But you still had sex no more different than what you had that other night. It still was the same. It's just that y'all argued before that, before y'all had a pleasant evening, the sex still was the same.
But energy is real and emotions are real and they can alter behaviors and they can alter experiences. That's just my take on it.
I think they're the same thing. It's just that the word is there. Because we had a little argument, we had a spat, so we don't have makeup sex. It's no difference to me that I done this with you and I did it when we did makeup sex. It's the same action. It's the same go through. The same thing.
And I see people ready to chime in. Come on in. Let's bring some folks into the conversation. Tell us your name.
My name is Teresa Johnson. I'm the owner here at Tim Hortons Highland Park. And I wasn't intending on being jumping in on
but
this.
I saw that face. You look interested. So go ahead and tell us your take on that topic.
I'm basically piggybacking on what you said, but at the same time, when it's makeup, before that, I'm already upset. It could last 2 weeks. It could last 30 days. You know what I'm saying? So the difference is, whereas yesterday we weren't mad, I probably would be willing to go ahead and do the do. But if I'm upset, you may not get none for a week or so.
So there's also that factor of the space.
That brings up a different thing.
Then it's emotional. It's emotional because women are emotional.
But now you're using sex as a tool because you're mad. That's not good.
Now see how juicy this discussion is getting. Give us some.
At the same time,
let them see this beautiful face.
It's called makeup sex. Okay, you want to make me over. You want me to not be upset anymore.
Fan, y'all.
You know what I'm saying? You want me to not be upset. You want me to say, I accept your apology.
You still don't want to use it as a tool. I'm sorry. You don't use sex as a tool.
It's a catch-22. It's a catch-22. Because there's a man version, there's a woman version.
So see, is this how it goes down at the event? Is this how it goes down at the event?
Yes, we get a little intense, and I like the battle with good dialogue, and I like the battle with good conversation, because we're gonna find a way to be a media here. Because I believe you just use sex as a tool, and that's not good. That is, and I can tell you the outcome of using sex as a tool is not great, especially in a man's behalf. Because you can't do. I don't think either sex should be fed sex. You both should be injunction on having sex.
And I believe that also, and I don't use it personally as a tool because I believe you shouldn't go to bed angry.
There you
I
go.
believe you shouldn't be angry. You should be able to agree to disagree.
There you go.
I believe that in a relationship, we're not going to agree all the time. And if you do agree all the time, then that's not a good relationship because you're going to think one way, I'm going to think another. But if we love each other, we should come together and still be able to go to bed and have a nice relationship and still be angry sometimes. But we shouldn't hold it against each other because I don't like what you like. I'm just playing the devil's advocate right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay? Yes.
So
And I shoot that devil down. Every time he come out, I'm gonna shoot him down.
You know what I'm saying? So basically, I'm neutral. I don't like being. I just don't.
And we do a relationship tip every week, and I think that's an excellent one. Is don't go to bed angry. How can we communicate? How can we work it out? Now, that's what I like about this game. It makes you communicate.
Your sleeping patterns, you're sleeping. Your dreams are nothing but your conscience. So if you go to bed angry, you're gonna have awful thoughts. You wake up, you're gonna be probably
You still
mad.
gonna have it when you wake up. It's still gonna be there.
Because now you're really thinking of some stuff.
It's not going nowhere
That's
until
like
you
I
solve
tell
it.
my employees, what happens here stays. Don't take it home.
And this is another tidbit from that. And when you get ready to have another little disagreement, you're not having a disagreement about what's happening now. You're still bitter from what you did not solve a month ago, a week
Living
ago.
in that
And
past.
I agree,
Bitter.
you should fix it.
Because it'll come back up.
If you say you're sorry and I apologize, you accept it, I don't want to hear about it later.
Yep.
I don't want to rehash.
Don't hold it against me. Don't keep bringing it back
what
up.
we discussed and argued about 2 months ago.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. It never got solved.
You know what I'm saying?
We're going to disagree to disagree
Disagree, we gonna move on.
and squash it and
But
keep going.
sometimes you can't move on. Sometimes relationships and marriages fail because they still mad about what happened last year.
Well, it's
Now-
lack of communication.
Speaking of marriage, we have another juicy question. Can you stay with us for this one, or do we need to bring?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Well, tell us about that new question that you are adding to the mix.
Yeah, this is really, I think, going to enlighten a lot of people, especially females. I'm sorry to put it out
Don't
there.
give it away. Just ask the question.
Okay,
Let us
here you
respond
go.
naturally.
Okay. You know how you get in a fight with your mate or the guy that's your fiance, and you get so upset where you say, "Here, take this ring back. I'm not marrying you." I don't know if you've been through that, but you know of it, right?
I've never been
Okay.
through it, but
See, if I got mad and upset with you, and I said, "Well, can I have my ring back? Are you gonna give me my ring back?" Be honest. I mean, off the top of your head,
Well, you know what?
would you
Knowing
give me my
me,
ring back?
being me, I would give you back to you, and I would take back.
Okay, well let's do it this way. Say you
So
would.
like once. So wait. Let me elaborate on this. So you said you'll give it back, but don't come back later. Like, oh baby, can we get back together? Here go the ring again. I mean, you like, no, that's it. I'm done.
Okay.
Can I
I
answer?
don't like that.
I want to answer too. My thing is, I don't like to attach to material things, so I would definitely give it back. But I think there's a lot of women out there, and feel free to type it in the chat box underneath this screen or call in. I feel like a lot of women will be like, no, you gave this to me. This is a gift. I'm not giving it back. I'm going to pawn it, whatever the case may be. So, what does the man have to say about that?
And it ain't just me that has to say it, but I'm finna enlighten you guys that you're supposed to give them back. I looked it up. I researched half the things that I write about, and I'm curious of what I should answer people with. I looked that up. There is a law here in Michigan and several other states. I looked it up. My love,
You hear
just
that?
to bring it.
There's a
There's
law.
a law called engagement ring law. So if you guys are breaking it up, breaking off the whole thing, rings must be returned. I know a lot of you ladies ain't never wanting to do that, never probably even heard of it, but men, let me enlighten you. If they break it off or you break it off, rings must be returned. It's called engagement ring law.
So what if we don't? Do we go to jail?
No, you can't take it to court. You can go to court
and the
and
guy
you can
is
sue
one.
for your ring back.
And
Even if you pawned it, let me answer her because she said you pawned it, lost it. If you guys still got the receipts to your rings that you gave these young ladies, please take it to them. They still have to give you face value of what you spent on that.
wow.
I tell you what though, you give me a ring and then you ask for it back. That's what you call closure because it's closed.
Yeah, I don't really like that back and forth.
And I can't go back.
Yeah, because he could come back again. Like, give him my ring back again. It's the law.
Indian giver.
Right.
But should I have that same attitude if you kept giving me my ring back?
Yeah.
I said, this is closure. You
That's
done
the
gave it
closure
back.
because we
I'm
both
done.
need closure.
Yeah,
Both
and I
need
think that's a
closure.
sign of
'Cause
what's
you
going to
done
happen
got
down the
upset.
line in the marriage. If you're having those issues now,
Exactly, and that's
it's going
why
to
they
get
call it
worse.
counseling.
Yes,
We're gonna get
counseling.
counseling.
Another tip: get it while
Get
you're in a
counseling.
relationship, while you're engaged, and while you're married.
Because that's just bad behavior. And it could be past behavior because sometimes past behavior turns into present behavior.
Yeah.
And that's where you got to do your research.
Yes.
We in a relationship. Okay, well, I should know a little bit about you.
Come on
You should know
now.
a little
Did
bit
you hear that?
about
She
me.
said, do your research. Research is not just for books in school. It is for people.
You don't just go
Okay?
get married and then say, oh, we love each other, we're going to get married. It's only been 3 months.
Honey, love
Because
is
most
not
people
enough.
like the ideal of getting married, but they don't know the ideal of
It's
marriage.
a job. It's a job.
And
Now,
this is why I created this. I put in questions that you never thought to think about and
I like
talk
that.
about. Oh no,
Me not being married.
I got questions that
But all my friends are married.
Yeah.
No, I got
and that's my
questions that
research.
hit.
I'm studying my married friends.
I'm studying. I'm learning so much because it's crazy. It's like an epidemic.
Yeah.
Either you gonna stay and work it out, or you gonna jump from relationship to
To relationship and have the same issues.
But
have the
where does
same
all this
issues.
have to start? I got to tell you, just ask me a question I'm supposed to answer, and I should be doing that with you. I built this book and this game too, the way you guys supposed to talk about everything, a good portion of everything within 6 months to 18 months. This was my objective. This way you can slow down on if he should be my friend, or a lover, or a husband, or a father.
Communication is number one.
Yes.
I mean, if you can't talk, if we can't be friends first, then what else?
And that, and you know, the people who have the long-term relationships, they said that's the key. We're friends because you don't want to hurt your friend as much. You want, you know, you'll work it out. You'll talk to your friend, and that's the problem. A lot of people get together and they love each other, but they don't like each other. Or the physical side is good, but they don't have that communication, mental connection.
And then that person started to look like somebody you don't want no more. You know, you wake
Come
up
on,
and you
that's
say,
what happened when you come off forever.
that affection turns into dislike, you know.
Resentment.
And it's like, oh, that's not who I was feeling last month, you know. Was it really love?
I'm going to help you with that.
Is that really
I
love?
really built this to help you. I guarantee you, I done wrote down at least a good 1,500, all of them different, of everything involves relationship, from the dog to the grandparents
So
to
you're doing that, I
everyone.
can take this information to all my married friends.
Yeah, it sounds like couples should almost play this
I'm going to
with
leave
each
you with
other.
some stuff
You
that
know,
you
as
can
they
take.
build their
I should invite
relationship.
some of my friends to this show.
And he does events,
Oh.
so he can do a whole event in
I'm
here
with you.
live with people.
Really?
Yes, there's actually one coming up on August 9th, which is this Saturday.
Right.
I want to do one more question. I just pulled out of the
Okay.
deck. I think it's a very hot topic. Something I always run into getting in trouble with. Should your mate have a problem with you speaking to your ex? Should your mate have a problem with you speaking to your ex? What say ye?
Don't ponder too long, you know.
Okay, my thing is, if there's a child involved, obviously you have to have communication.
That's right.
If there's no child involved, I don't think there should be any type of dialogue. Hey, how you doing
Whoa,
on the
whoa, whoa.
street?
I'm going to be the
Not
devil's advocate
Me
on
too.
this
I'm
one
gonna do it 'cause she said speak.
but wait, I'm like really good friends with all of my exes. I don't
Me too.
end on a bad note. I don't burn bridges. They're
Me
like
too.
my confidants. They give me
You
advice.
guys go out to dinner,
You know.
go out to eat, have
N-
conversations. Because there's
Not
a fine-
as much when I'm
there's
in a
fine
relationship.
line. When you're in a
I try to
relationship-
respect it
Okay,
a
now
little
if
bit.
you're in a relationship and you know you can have a conversation, we're going out for lunch and all that stuff, you know, I think you should draw the line somewhere.
Well, I'm going to watch how I would do it. That's all. I'm going to watch out, and I would inform
And
her
you can
that how I'm
include
doing it.
your person. That
She
because
would
we
know.
all could be friends.
Right.
Because I go out to lunch with my
You
clients,
know.
I go to dinner with my clients. I got a woman, but I can go to dinner. I mean, they're my clients. I'm doing a little catering here. I'm going out for
Because
after
it's
work
a
drink.
business thing.
Just a little
Just
catering
say like
here.
for me, I run two businesses.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm around tons of people all the time. So I don't have that issue where the person is jealous. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't go out to dinner and, you know, nighttime hours.
But that speaks to something
You know.
very important with this question,
Fine
and
line.
when you're a business person, you have to date someone, or I know, that's confident. If you're not confident, you can't hang with me.
You can't be
Because I have to do business. There are
'cause
going
at
to
this
be.
point, I'm the woman, so now I have to have the arm candy. You know,
I love
reversed,
it.
You know, so I'm like,
Women
okay,
need
so
arm
now
candy
you have
too.
to put your shirt and tie on, and I need my arm candy because now the roles are reversed because I have to do all these events
And you have to be okay with playing the background a little bit. Or the partner.
Awards in this community.
But I've been down that
You know,
road. Look what I
and-
do.
And
100
it's like you
people,
gotta
100 ladies.
you know, you gotta the roles reversed. You know, you gotta sit and I gotta go and, you know, and not be all insecure.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you left me sitting at the table for an hour or so, but you know, I don't do that. But at the same time, it's just like a man in business, and he brings his wife or woman or whatever, just looking nice and cute because he's at an event.
Right.
You know, so I look at it like that. You're my
Well, as
arm
long as
candy
they're
and-
introduced, though. As
and
long
you
as they're
introduce because
introduced
you
who they are and what
respect
they are
me.
to
Yeah,
you.
know,
and that's what it is. If it's sneaky, that's when it becomes
It's
a
a
problem.
respect. Anybody that comes to give me a hug, I hug everybody. You know, I always introduce, you know.
But see, I had a problem with because I had a young lady in my life, and she was so friendly. I got a little uncomfortable with it. She would hug everybody, and I'm talking males, and that's not all that great to me.
That's not.
And I'm right there.
It's a certain
But she was super
way.
friendly. I couldn't get.
It's a certain
Yeah,
way.
I get in
handle
trouble
that
all the
that
time
well.
because
It's a
I'm
certain
friendly
way
and
you do it.
it's
Yeah,
considered
I mean, it's a certain
flirty.
way, you know, when you're a business person and you see your business, you know, you're at an event, you know,
Church hug.
Exactly. Exactly.
Not
I like
the-
the universal
You know
line.
what?
You can't do the embrace her.
I'm so used to patting.
You can't be putting
I'll
your fingers
get
to
that
the
in my writing.
hair.
I'm so used to patting.
Yeah, the pat.
The pat, you know, hey.
You don't have to smush
you don't
everything
have
up.
to, You don't have to bring it all in.
Right.
You know, you
That's
just
what it's a
tap, tap, and
concern.
I find myself tap, you know, when I probably should be caressing.
The two
And then
taps.
I'll be tapping.
But what you're doing,
You know
or what
what
you
I'm
should
saying?
be doing, is just recognizing that your mate is here. I have to do this in a manner of respect. When I hug you, she can see the respect I'm giving you when I hug at you. This is what's got to be done
And-
on both parts.
Here's another thing I see too. If you come up, you know him, I'm with him, it's important for you to acknowledge the person he's with. Now I've seen it where this other woman comes up, only speaks to the guy, and so
And
the
they
woman
don't
is
say
like,
nothing.
well, why she ain't acknowledge me? You know, so there's a certain respect too with that.
A woman can tell.
Oh yeah,
It's called women's
intuition.
Oh,
We
man, got it. Wait a minute. My world's a two-way street. Understand? I'm not going to let them sit here and not make this a two-way street. Men have
We have more.
intuition too. We do. Because
Because
we can sense that you might have had relations with that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I can sense that, and I'm 80% of the time right. I will do that.
Okay, I hear you that.
Yeah.
You want to chime in on this discussion? Well, come on over and pull up a seat. Okay, so one other thing I want to say to that too is generally when I break up with someone, I'm like you said, I have that closure, I'm done. But then you have people who like to go back and forth with the ex. Now that's when it's an issue too. When it's somebody who's notorious for that back and forth, that's when it might be a problem with them speaking to the ex because it might lead to something else. Me, once I close that door, it's closed.
And you can still be friends because in your mind, because it's emotional.
Yes.
You once you get the closure, see when people go back and forth, there's no closure. They still got those feelings. You leave that door open
Come on
for them to
now.
walk right back in. So that's why you always close the door.
Yes.
What?
And
I'm not gonna
lock
say
it.
much-
And lock it.
Deadbolt it and
That's
turn the
what-
alarm on.
To me, wait,
say how we
wait,
can
think about
talk,
this. Think about this.
but you
If
ain't
you know
coming
what
back
you
in.
Right.
but
You
wait,
know what I'm
if you
saying?
know what you're not gonna do, why do you have to even worry about that? You know you're not going
Who's
back
worrying?
there. I'm just saying how y'all
Who's worrying?
putting a tight thing on it, making it so not. Why are you worried about it? Because you know you better than anybody. You know what you're not gonna do, right? So you ain't got to worry about that. That's just me. I ain't got to worry about it. We're together. We're together. All my exes can be in here for that matter. I still know what I'm not gonna do. So I'm not even gonna let her feel uncomfortable at all. So why I even have this so tight like that? No.
Okay, let me ask you this question.
Come on
Speaking
now.
from somebody I know, married couple.
Okay.
The husband is extremely flirtatious. I mean, OMG. You
Like
know,
to the point of disrespectfully.
Like, well, if you don't flirt, that means you're gay. Huh?
That's what his reasoning is.
Who gave that analogy? I mean, who
Yeah.
came up with that? You know,
What age
sounds
span
like he
are we
pulled it from
talking?
somewhere strange.
44.
44.
Okay? So, your wife clearly doesn't like you.
Mm-hmm.
Hates me. On the verge of separating.
Mm-hmm.
Because the husband just feel like, oh, I'm just being nice. Oh, I'm just, you know. And then when you're out, you see something that you like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, in front of the wife.
Wow.
Well, what do you
Can I
call
do
that?
that one?
What do you
Go
call
ahead, 'cause
that?
I don't know what
End
to
it.
say to that.
To that person, I would end it. Because he's
I
totally...
suggested counseling.
So, no.
You know.
To
You
me,
would end
I
the
suggest-
marriage?
I suggest
That's a marriage you're
That's a
talking about?
marriage.
I thought we were supposed to communicate in a two-way
I
street.
suggested
Okay, I would
counseling. As a
communicate.
friend,
I would
I
communicate.
suggested counseling.
I'm sorry. I would communicate, really. And I would put it out there strongly that you really hurt me when you do these certain
She said
things.
that.
Okay, if they didn't went through all of this, and we
Counseling's next. I suggested counseling.
so they haven't did
As a
counseling,
friend, I'm not
but
that
they
kind
didn't
of
did
friend to
this.
say, leave that man.
I like counseling because I spoke to a.
How
Well,
does she
I
feel
heard
right
from a
now?
counselor.
She's hurt.
I heard from a
She's
counselor
totally
that said
hurt,
there's some
really
deeper
hurt bad.
need within him that needs to be
She
addressed.
must be doing
The thing
something
is,
too.
We got. Let's
The thing
pass
is-
the mic to the
the thing
side.
is,
We got
he's
another
very
male point of view in the backdrop.
But
He
to
was
me,
that way
still,
before they
even if that's the case, she did everything as in catering to this man, dealing with all these things about this man.
Okay, we have another
I
male
understand
perspective.
The counseling part, but say if it didn't even get to where the counselor could help. Because this man obviously hasn't
See
been.
how heated
How many
this
years
gets?
they've been together?
All right, pause. We have another male in the background. You can't see him on camera, but what do you have to say to that,
The
Jason?
thing that I'm thinking is, what did she do to bring this on? She must have allowed this behavior at some point in time, and she thought it was okay behavior. And then he made that made that part of his behavior to be friendly or extra flirtatious or whatever. Because sometimes if you allow that type of behavior, you don't discuss it up in the beginning. He thinks it's okay because my grandmother used to always tell me, teach people how to treat you.
Come on now.
So you have to have that up front and don't let that it get on, and then you can chop it off from the beginning, because in the first 6 months of a relationship, you can kind of see how a person is going to be and how they're going to treat you.
Yeah,
one of my
and a
rules
lot of
right
people
there.
think once they get married, that thing is going to change.
No, that
but it
doesn't
only
change.
escalates. It
But-
only gets
and-
worse.
and
Because
then
now we're married.
The thing with the
And that's my
woman,
husband doing that.
if he's coming home to her every night, and that's part of who he is, sometimes you can't change that about yourself, about being friendly, because that's who he developed himself to be, to maybe grow his business or have those type of relationships or get things done. So she might have to take a back seat to that to a certain time. As long as he's going home and they have their home relationship, when they're out, if he does that, he needs to be supportive of her when he gets into the car. He needs to be supportive of her at home with whatever her objective is.
But you made a good point. Wait, let's go back to your point. Even in the beginning, where he said that if she saw this action 6 months, she saw this kind of action, and now it's going into a year. I don't even understand how they got married.
Okay.
Because if he got it after the marriage,
let me
something was
sum it up.
going
Marriage
on.
is the secret
Let me sum it up for you.
pill.
The thing is, yes, he was like that in the beginning.
Uh-huh.
And to flip it, it's her business that he helps her with. And that's not drawing in the business, like he says. Well,
Yeah,
I'm
'cause
just
that's
trying to
often a
bring in
man's
the
excuse.
business. I'm trying to bring in more business. No, you're not doing that. Our employees are looking at that as nasty.
And that's when she should have addressed it.
Yeah.
She should have addressed it then.
Again, she has addressed it in the past, okay? And as a friend, my advice was, well, he's consistent. So if you get married, he's not going to change.
He showed you who he was. What
And
Maya Angelou say?
she
Whoever
married him anyway.
when they show you who they are, believe it.
Believe me, she hurt, and yes. Some men, how they go flip flop. This one's consistent.
But she
Yeah.
showed that it was acceptable for him.
And she
That's what. Yeah,
showed
that's
that it was
what
acceptable
background male
for him.
perspective
even
said.
though she said she didn't like it, and he said, "Oh, I'm gonna change. Oh, I'm this is how I am, but I won't do this." But then that only lasts a few minutes. And
When
then
you decide
go
to
back.
commit to somebody, you have to ask yourself, can I still love this
Can I
person
still accept this?
if 5 years from now, 10 years
5
from now, if they
years from now.
never change?
She didn't do that.
If
And
they
she
never
didn't do that.
change.
Now she's unhappy.
You can't accept that type
Can
of
counseling
behavior.
help that?
No, and that's why I say what you'll see when we come down to 6 months. That's when she was supposed to evaluate it. Do I want to even go any further?
Can I say something else?
Counseling help. This is the second time marriage for them.
That should be. They should have had to practice marriage was the first. This should be where they get it right.
No, she
we have
should've learned
let's
some
hear
stuff
one
with the
more
first
male
one.
perspective, and then we're gonna wrap up this game.
I do have a question. I have a question.
Yes.
I'm going to ask about the African American community. When it comes to dating in the African American community, it seems like it's possession first, whether it be the male side or the female side. Because I see my other friends from other races, like my Indian friends or my Russian friends or my Hispanic friends, or not my Hispanic friends, my Caucasian friends, and they'll date. And so they'll date 2 or 3 people at one time.
Really?
In the African American community, it doesn't go down like that.
It's like I own you, you're mine.
Right on, right
But
on.
You can't talk to
understand, now,
nobody else.
this is in my book too.
And that
This is
doesn't give you an
different.
opportunity to see what you like and what you don't like. And then you're stuck with that type of personality.
What do we
You
call
don't give
that?
your
I'm
chance.
going to tell you what it
You don't
is.
give yourself an opportunity to see what type of shoe that you want to buy, pretty much. Because you don't know if you want like a red shoe or blue shoe, black shoe.
Heel.
Right. You don't know what kind of shoe. You don't know
A
the shoe.
platform.
Because once you get that shoe, you like this. This is my shoe, and the shoe like this. I'm gonna fit you. Instead of us finding what fits for you to grow. Because what happens, what I see, what happens is people don't give each other an opportunity to grow. Now you're together, so you have growth, togetherness growth.
Yeah.
You still have your individual growth.
So true.
And I think in the beginning of the relationship, we need to get those boundaries of knowing what's individual, what's together. So we can help each other grow. We're going to be friends and love each other. You got to know what drives each other.
Now I have to pause it. We are running out of time here. But do you see how these questions lead to other questions that lead to other questions? So if you want more of this, you have to go to the event on August 9th at Darnell's Salon. Tell us the salon, what time the event starts, because we can talk about this all day, but we don't have all day. So tell me, we got to wrap it up. Tell us, we got to come to the event. You got to leave them wanting more. They got to buy this book, this game, come to this event. So tell us what time and where on Saturday can we enjoy Relationships a Two-Way Street.
Relationships a Two-Way
30 seconds or less.
It will be held at Salon on the Park 1 Lafayette downtown in the Lafayette Pavilion. I'm doing a barbecue for this one too, so you're more than welcome to come and eat and enjoy. And we're going to have this great stimulating conversation again. It starts at 7 p.m. until we're done talking. But I've had them up to almost midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning.
And bring a lawn chair, right?
Bring a lawn chair, because we're going to have some fun. The weather looks like it's going to be really great. And I've had it inside of my salon just in case if that's the case of weather.
Now, how can we contact you if we forget where to go or...
You can email me at salon2way@yahoo.com.
And that's the number 2.
The number 2.
WAY@yahoo.com.
Right.
Now we're going to switch over to our motivational tips of the day, and it's going to all be related to what we talked about. So since we had to cut you off, Darnell, you may want to slip it in here. Tell us our relationship tip of the day. That's one of the areas where we need the most motivation. What's your relationship tip for today?
The biggest thing you can do is talk more. Completely talk more, ins and outs, ups and downs, pet peeves. Put all these things in your communication. You're talking more as you're dating, and there is a difference in dating. To me, dating is just what that is, dating, not a relationship. So talk more to your potential mate or even your long lost spouse. Still talk more. That's my tip to the whole world. Talk
Teresa, while we have you here, can I put you on the spot? Since you own 2 Tim Hortons, we also do a business tip of the day. Just give us any business tip that comes to mind for our viewers, a way to motivate us in business.
I would say definitely have passion for your business, because passion should be the key word for today.
Come on.
Through good, through bad, if you got passion, those good times or bad times will be easy breezy. You gotta love what you do.
Yeah, so that translates for relationships and business. You gotta have that passion. All right, now.
I kind of thought that.
And we're going to piggyback with.
Oh, no,
we're
wait a
going to
minute.
focus and sacrifice in there too.
Oh, okay, yes, focus
You
and
definitely
sacrifice.
gotta focus
Yeah,
on
Right,
we got to
so-
put focus and
sacrifice.
sacrifice in
Yes.
there
That should be number 2.
too. Yeah.
Now I have
We'll have order.
What about a finance tip? Do either of you have a finance tip for us? Managing that money, one of the main areas where we need motivation.
Don't overspend.
She says.
Only purchase what you need. It'll go a long way.
That's right.
That's hard.
You know,
So
sometimes
money-
when you're in business, you say, "Oh, I got it," and you're buying and you're buying.
Money.
That's right.
That's
Like,
where
where
the
did that money
sacrifice
go?
come in.
And
Come on
it takes
now.
the focus to it. And to me, put money back where you're getting it from, and it'll always be there.
It'll
Understand
always
that.
be
Put
there.
money back where you're getting it from, and it's always there. That's why I believe in catering to my clients.
And I just thought of a fitness tip.
I like that.
Okay, our 4th area is a fitness tip. And why not tie it into relationships? Generally, when you get in a relationship, you gain that 30, 40 pounds. I know I have. I'm speaking from experience because you're eating out together, you're laying up under each other. But in my last relationship, we made working out together a part of our dating. And we both got all the way flat together. So that's my fitness tip, is make working out, walking, playing basketball together, going dancing a part of your relationship. It will strengthen the bond, you're burning calories, and you're getting fit together. Woo, we got to take a break, but hopefully you've been taking notes, because this was juicy. This could be a whole show within itself, Darnell.
Told you once I
Hint,
get started,
hint.
this only popping.
All right, so we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we'll do upcoming events and announcements, and we'll wrap it up and tell you how you can reach and support all of us. After the break, we'll be back. Welcome back to Motivation Mondays with Monica Marie Jones, where we have been having a heated, hot, and juicy discussion about relationships. But unfortunately, we only have an hour. But the great thing is that on Saturday, August 9th, you can go to a live event where this will be happening from
Salon on the Park, on Lafayette, Pavilion Apartments, downtown, off of Red Bar.
And
We're gonna have a ball.
we try to squeeze that into, 15 minutes? But how long will they be able to be at that event? What time is it?
It starts at 7, but it can go as long as 10 o'clock, sometime midnight, as long as the weather is good, or the company still stays. I don't chase them home or anything. They want me to talk about some other stuff. They want to talk about some other stuff. Even if they bring in their personal issues, matters, and ordeals, we talk about those too. Because I found that a lot of people get a chance to vent at these things, and that's really good. That you can get that dead weight off of you. Now you can go into the next relationship with an open mind.
And
you
guess
don't
what?
go in there with that weight.
The people that are listening from around the world in other cities are like, dang, that's in Detroit. Well, Darnell travels. He can come to you and host it at your event, your organization, at your house. Just talk to him. He will work something out with you, and he can come. He's done it live at people's houses, and it gets just as exciting and just as heated. All right? So Darnell can come to you. All right?
I would love it.
Now, let me tell you about a couple other events we have coming up. For those of you in the Metro Detroit area, we have Swinging for Small Business Growth. That's going to be a golf outing on Monday, August 18th at the Wabeek Country Club in Bloomfield Hills. Now, you have until the 11th to sign up. We need golfers. We need sponsors. I'm going to be there. We need giveaways for the raffle bags. We have a networking lunch. So make sure you go to Facebook/Metropolitan Business Alliance so you can see all of the information, or contact me. I will be glad to give you more information about the event. Now I have some exciting news. I now have an app. The Monica Marie Jones app is available to you on the Google Play Store for Android users. Shortly it will be available for iPhone and BlackBerry users, and that is where you can get all of the video recordings of these shows, audio recordings, my midweek motivation podcast, all of my inspirational blogs, all in one place. Photos, everything.
Whoa.
All right, so download that app so you can stay up and catch up on all of these shows. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I encourage you to follow me. Follow Darnell Glover on Facebook. Is that what you have on Facebook? Follow Urban Nation Radio on Facebook. This is a movement, my friends. You want to join it and you want to share, because we have some exciting shows every day on this station about community, about relationships. I mean, you name it, it is addressed on this show. Hopefully, one of these days, Darnell will have a show. Hint, hint. Because we could use a show. I mean, can't you just see this happening every week for an hour or two or three?
Real cool talk show.
Right.
Really
People can call in. I know a lot of you had your opinions online. We would love to hear from you. So feel free to contact us to keep the conversation going. Again, that's Salon2Way, the number 2.
Right.
WAY@yahoo.com to contact Darnell. And you can find all of my information just by Googling Monica Marie Jones, or through MonicaMarieJones.com, or the new Monica Marie Jones app. So let's close, Darnell, by, again, your final words, whatever you want to say, how we can reach you, advice you want to leave our listeners with, how we can support you moving forward. Put it out there. The world is watching.
Well, please go to my website too if you want. It's www.relationshipstoway.com. You'll find out more about me, more about this book, and how it all got created, and the venture that I'm going to take this book on. So I think, as a whole, I want to create a lot of open minds. I want to create more talk in you guys' relationship and talk about everything. Don't put a boundary to what you want to talk about. Don't get familiar with your mate and make a boundary where you can't talk to him or her about this because you got familiar and you figure they don't want to talk about it. No, you have the right to ask everything you want to ask, because it's going to help you stay in communication and make longevity out of those relationships.
Yes, thank you so much. I cannot wait until we are able to buy the book and get the game. So you saw it here first on Motivation Mondays with Monica Marie Jones on UrbanNationRadio.com, where we turn your Monday blues into your Monday good news. Make sure you subscribe to my channel on YouTube, Monica Marie Jones, as well as follow me on SoundCloud, Monica Marie Jones. That's where we will post the behind the scenes footage of these interviews. You'll get to watch other interviews. You'll get to listen to the audio of the interviews and all my other crazy musings while you're working out or on your commute. And hopefully we will have Darnell back on this show or other shows or his own show, because as you can see, this discussion gets good. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next week at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Motivation Mondays with Monica Marie Jones.